My husband doesn't see how his work wife is trying to destroy our marriage. I'm sorry, but what the f do you mean, work wife? The story was first posted February 9th, 2025. I, 31 female, am at my wit's end with my husband, 32 male, coworker Sarah, 30 female, and his complete inability to see what's happening. I'm not usually one for Reddit, but I need to know if I'm going crazy here. Where do I even start? 3 years ago, my husband Mark started working with Sarah. At first, I tried to be welcoming. I invited her to our barbecues, included her in group outings, and genuinely tried to be friendly. Big mistake. She spent the entire time making backhanded comments about everything from my career. Oh, you're just a yoga instructor? How peaceful. Yeah, that does sound peaceful, and that sounds freaking great, to be honest. To my cooking. I guess not everyone can master basic seasoning. Yeah, I would not have handled either of those comments well. So the real problem is that Mark thinks she's just being funny. Last month, she literally threw away the anniversary mug I gave him because it clashed with the office aesthetic. I have a feeling I'm going to be like diabolically annoyed throughout this entire video. When I got upset, Mark said I was being too sensitive and that Sarah just has high standards for office decor. It was a mug with our wedding photo on it. I can already see what's happening here. Some greatest hits from Sarah. She scheduled a mandatory work dinner on our anniversary. She convinced Mark not to take a promotion because it would mean working with a different team. She posts daily photos of them together with hashtags like hashtag work power couple and hashtag work spouse. Jail time. Guilty as charged. She tells everyone at their office that she takes better care of him than I do. She changed his coffee order and now tells everyone that she trained him right. The worst part? My husband is completely blind to all of this. Is he blind to all of it, or is he just accepting it and making excuses for it? Yeah. Yesterday, he actually told me about how Sarah said our new house, which we spent months searching for, was charming in a starter home kind of way. He repeated this while laughing. I tried talking to him about it, but Sarah has convinced him I'm just insecure. She's managed to insert herself into every aspect of our lives. She was only able to insert herself because your husband has allowed this behavior along the way. They text constantly, even on weekends. She knows his schedule better than I do. She arranged his entire desk and office wardrobe because his style was too suburban husband. That's what he is. Last week, I suggested marriage counseling. He looked genuinely confused. He, of course, went and talked to Sarah about it. When I tell you the amount of issues I have with this, Mark would be single by now. I found out from another coworker that she's been telling people that Mark and I are going through a rough patch and that she's just being a good friend by giving him someone to talk to. We weren't going through anything until she started this nonsense. The breaking point? I stopped by his office to surprise him with lunch. I know, but it was his birthday and Sarah was supposedly out sick. Guess who was there? I have no idea who it could be. Sarah. She miraculously recovered and bought him a cake that said, "To my work hubby," with a photo of them from the office holiday party. She saw me and said, "Oh, Amy, you came too. How nice. Mark, you didn't tell me your real wife was coming." I know where that cake's going. I'm not crazy, right? This woman is trying to destroy my marriage while my husband stands there grinning like it's all some big joke. What should I do? Divorce seems extreme, but I'm running out of options here. Edit. I should have stated that the promotion wasn't one that would increase his salary, but his title. It would give him more leadership experience. It still blows my mind that he turned it down just so he could stay on the same team as her. So aren't you questioning some other things? I also should have told the mug story in its entirety. She accidentally broke the mug. I noticed it was gone when I was visiting him one day and I asked him about it. He said she accidentally knocked it over and then later he repeated a joke she made about how it didn't fit the office aesthetic. We have the first update, which came 4 days later. Before I talked to my husband, I decided to do some investigation. I wish I was included in that. I would have killed it for you. I started with his phone, and read all the messages between him and Sarah. She badmouthed me a few times. He did nothing to defend me, but didn't engage either. She was flirty. He was really flirty back. They talked a lot, and he praised her frequently for her work ethic and intelligence. I didn't see anything about cheating. I checked his email. Nothing. I checked his work email. Nothing. I looked through our other devices. Nothing. I searched high and low for a second phone. Nothing. Everything I found was always dancing the line. Nothing was outright cheating, but here are the things I found that did hurt my feelings. I just gotta say, this is hitting very close because I went through, this situation is quite literally what ended one of my relationships in the past. And guess what? It was dancing the line until it wasn't. Just saying. He has lunch with her and only her every day in the office. They don't really like anyone else, so they'll criticize others and say, let's talk more at lunch. They're serving whatever today. Next, he would say things like, I'm sure if you were a wife, you would whatever. He also kept it as wife and not my wife, but it still upset me. Next, she admitted to breaking the mug on purpose. He didn't get upset with her, just said, yeah, the photo gifts are kind of corny. No, that would actually destroy me, you guys, because I am one of those very corny, thoughtful, cheesy people who give gifts like that. I would be devastated. Even if you think it's corny, I don't give a fuck. Take a sip out of that cup. I confronted him. I laid it all out, and while he wasn't upset, he did try to brush things off. He said I was being sensitive and overreacting. I told him if we didn't have a real conversation about this, I would file for divorce. That got his attention, and he sat down with me. He admitted that at first he found it odd that Sarah was trying so hard. He saw her trying hard with all the men in the office. The more attention she gave him, the more he enjoyed it, and the more he responded, the more attention she gave until she just had her sights on him. He knew some of the other men were envious, and he liked that too. I'm sorry, are we 16? Oh my God, she has a crush on me. Are you jealous? This is high school. Y'all are in your 30s and you're married. He admitted that eventually he just got too deep. He said he knew it was wrong, but he had gotten addicted to the attention and didn't want her to move on to another man. I'm sorry, am I the only one who's losing their mind? Or are you guys at home also like, if you need attention that bad and that like fuels you, you're not for me. So he indulged her sometimes at my expense. He said it was just nice to have two women in the major parts of his life, stating that he knew we'd rarely see one another. So what was the harm? He reiterated that he never ever physically cheated with her, but admitted it could be called an emotional affair. It was painful. I won't hide that. I mean, really painful. Like I wasn't enough. I told him from this point on, he needed to stop communicating with Sarah and ask to be transferred or switch jobs altogether. Now, folks, I mean it when I tell you this. He lost his shite. He began raising his voice, saying things like he never cheated. It was all above board and I couldn't control who he talked with at work. He called me a narcissist and a control freak. Girl, if you don't run so fast right now. He told me I had no idea how hard it was, how much stress he had in the office, and that his personal relationship with Sarah helps a lot. Taking it away would just damage his mental health. It got so bad that I started crying. I couldn't take it anymore and decided to leave. I packed a small bag and called my mother-in-law. She's the only family I have here. I gave her the rundown of what was going on and she offered her home to me. I'm staying here and just hoping my husband calms down so we can revisit this. I want to work it out. I love him more than anything. One thing I wish I did was that I walked away for myself sooner in that situation. Y'all, the things I could tell you. It's not my story. So these are some additional comments from the OOP, the author, about her mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is on my side and told me point blank that he is wrong. However, she said she doesn't want to get in the middle because she doesn't want to damage the relationship with neither of us. She told me I'm welcome as long as I need, but she won't bring anything up to her son unless he brings it up to her. As for my husband, he has tried to reach out. He's called and left messages and texted. I let him know I was safe and I left it at that. He will message or call every few hours, but we have not talked. We have some more updates, but I need a sip of water. I'm getting pissed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm angry. I'm angry. It's triggering for me. We're hopping on hydration station, okay? And if you saw my video, it's on my shorts channel. I started a shorts channel, okay? If you want to see more into my little life. I don't like putting them on here. It messes with my long form content algorithm, okay? So I will link it. Here it is. I showed you I bought the cutest cups ever! Dollarama, $1.75. Cheers. Look how cute. All right, next update. First, I want to address some of the negative comments. So all the people saying their team Sarah.
What the heck?
Who is on that team? Am I missing something? And hoping Sarah and my husband get together. I even saw a nasty comment saying Sarah and my husband would be the office power couple. How can you sit here and say nothing's going on? You claim my husband didn't cheat and I'm being crazy. Yet in the same breath, wish that they were together? You're contradicting yourself because deep down you know something romantic was developing. Now for the update. My husband came to my mother-in-law's house. She didn't call him. He knew I was there because I told him and he said he wanted to talk. Some big things happened in such a short time. He wanted to explain. According to my husband, after I left, he started to reflect. He did call his mom and they had a long talk. I didn't know any of this. She asked him if he was happy with me and he said yes, but I made him extremely happy. I was a good wife and a great partner. This is kind of what sunk into him, that he was being juvenile for wanting attention from another woman. I did ask him why. He always brushed things off and never took action before. He said he couldn't explain it. It just felt good. He assured me he never wanted to sleep with her and never advanced things in that way. It was just nice having someone around who was fawning over him like a fan. For those who said he didn't know what an emotional affair was and was just agreeing with me, you were right. He admitted he didn't really understand what an emotional affair was, but after looking it up, he agreed that is what it was, though unintentional. He said he didn't want to lose his friend, so he just went along with a lot of what she did. He admitted he was deep into a fog, but me leaving and this conversation with his mom was the one thing that brought him out of it. He said he did not want to fight. My husband is big on giving me space, so when I left, he didn't chase after me because he thought it would be best for us to just cool down and think about this and hopefully come back and discuss it more rationally. He did reach out to Sarah. Though they didn't meet in person, they had a phone call. He told her they couldn't remain as close, that their out-of-office texts and calls needed to stop, that he would get a replacement mug she wasn't to touch, and that they needed to cut back on their lunches. He wanted to handle this before talking to me to show that he was serious. I have respect for that. Sarah didn't take it well. She started berating me, saying I was forcing him to do this. My husband stopped her and said no, he was doing this because his marriage was important. He admitted letting things go too far, but clarified he had no romantic interest in her. He told her if she had feelings for him, she needed to distance herself immediately. Sarah ended up ruining their friendship herself. Though my husband was willing to maintain a more distant friendship, her comments about me and him, claiming she never want him and that everything she did was because she knew we weren't meant to be together and she was trying to open his eyes. Okay, so trying to break you up. He said he couldn't believe that he'd never seen how vindictive and awful she was. She was almost venomous. It didn't end well. After handling that situation, he came to see me, wanting to ensure I knew he understood and was taking the proper steps. He said we could do whatever I needed. I know some of you will say I'm wrong, that divorce is the only option because he had an emotional affair. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not divorcing my husband. I didn't expect divorce, but I expected accountability. And I think it would be different if you found intimate texts. Not that I agree with flirting is correct. It's painful, it's wrong, it's unnecessary. If you need attention, go be single. I don't care. I told him we needed counseling for both of us. Yes, going through all of his devices, emails, and texts might have been extreme. He agreed it felt like a breach of privacy, but understood given the circumstances. I told him we both needed to work on things. As of right now, I guess you could say that we're separated. We're not staying in the same house. We're going to attend counseling. I don't want to just jump back into things with him. I don't want it to seem like it was okay to make me feel like I was the second option and to ignore all those red flags and to brush me off. This has to be worked on. I'm leaving his mother's house and staying with a friend. It didn't end there. We do have one more update. So let me know where you're at right now though. Would you have been forgiving? Do you think that's something you could go past since it was just flirting? As a lot of you predicted in my last update, Sarah wasn't happy about my husband ending their friendship and trying to put a distance between him and her. I seriously thought she was going to reach out to me, but she never did. Why? Because this was never about me. I was not even on her radar except for somebody to tear down. I will give Sarah one thing. She's extremely efficient. She started her campaign long before Monday morning. Over the weekend, she reached out to several of my husband's coworkers, mostly male. She told them that my husband had randomly stopped being friends with her and she suspected it was my fault. She said she couldn't believe it. Everyone knew how close they were. She just felt bad for him, wanted to be a friend for him and hopefully help him out of a terrible marriage. She went on and on about how she couldn't believe how much this is going to affect her during her work hours and that she didn't know if she could continue working at this job. Girl, Sarah, why are you so invested in someone else's marriage? One of the female coworkers at my husband's job messaged me all of this. As a lot of you predicted, she is gearing up to... Pardon? She's gearing up to accuse my husband of sexual harassment? Who predicted that? Monday alone, she has put herself in the path of my husband multiple times. It kind of feels like she's setting up to do something, and he said she had an argument because she's doing a lot of odd things, at least according to my husband. Think stuff like intentionally following my husband into a room or a section of the office that is somewhat closed off, accidentally emailing him or forwarding him things, going to his cubicle multiple times a day for no reason, sitting close to him in meetings. It seems harmless, but really it feels like she's gearing up for something. My husband did go to HR first thing Monday morning, and like I kind of thought, they would pretty much say that they can't do anything unless it affects work or working hours. His HR is not the greatest. He did let them know what she was doing today, but honestly, I don't think they took him seriously. We've been thinking about moving. The only thing that keeps us here is really his mom. So he might just transfer jobs. We're not really sure. I hope things don't escalate anymore, and since he went to HR already, I'm hoping that nothing big happens. I'd like to give a little update about our counseling. To all the people who tell me that I'm making a mistake by giving my husband another chance and trying to work it out, I am so happy I don't listen to you. I understand it was a crappy situation. I lived through it. I know it is. I know how it felt. But counseling has revealed a lot about my husband that I didn't even know. Apparently, he was bullied severely in high school and he kind of went through a little glow up when he went to college. Sarah is definitely one of those stereotypical blonde pretty girls, and my husband admits that it did kind of feel like he finally got his chance to be popular in a social setting. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that comment. My husband admitted that Sarah basically mirrored everything about him. His likes, his dislikes. She talked to him like we walked on water. It definitely sounded like she was boosting his ego in a manipulative fashion. Like I said, I understand this isn't just a forgive and move on kind of situation, but hearing my husband talk about how it felt and the way it affected him, it made me have a lot more sympathy for him. Y'all, am I losing it? Like, to me, I'm like, wait, did he just manipulate this whole situation? Or like, am I tripping? I still haven't come back home, but we're doing it one day at a time. I went and had lunch with him on Monday, and I'm going again today. day. I'm trying to be there for him so he doesn't feel alone. Girl, what about you? I'm really ready for all of this to die down. I'm hoping it doesn't get taken further at work, but if it does, we'll deal with it. Now, if Sarah does make those claims, I do not agree with making up such a claim like that. That's terrible. That's sick. However, I don't know. Something with me, because I went through a very similar situation, and I forgave, and I did this, and I looked past things, and then it led to the one thing you thought it might. I don't know. I'm like, I don't get how he kind of, like, now you're feeling sorry for him? What? Am I tripping? I don't know. We're all gonna have different opinions. I want to hear yours, so I'll see you in the comments section. Let me know. I'll see you there. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. See you tomorrow.